It tends to calm the stomach, calm the digestive tract, also calm us. Chamomile certainly is great before you go to sleep and for calming. So either our mint tea or chamomile tea. Again, mint typically becomes bitter after you steep it for 1 or 2 minutes. Our mint, you could steep it for 1 or 2 days. It will not get bitter. And then we have a version that's a blend of the two. That's what I really like at the end of the day. That's typically what I'm drinking during the shows. I'm drinking a blend of chamomile and peppermint tea. They're just a perfect blend between those two teas. So what's unique about our teas, they are organic. They come from the best source in the world. And what's great is they never become bitter. And what does that mean? It makes them really inexpensive because you could steep your tea literally for days at a time. And you could reuse that tea bag. So you could make 4, 5, 6 cups of tea with a tea bag. Whereas a typical tea bag, you make it your cup of tea, you steep it for a minute or two, and it can't even get strong before it gets bitter. You have to get rid of it. Right. So ours can become incredibly strong. You could dilute it further, and it never becomes bitter.
I found it to be such a wonderful replacement to coffee. I don't drink anywhere near as much coffee as I used to do. I mean, being from England, I'm a big tea drinker anyway. Obviously, we all drink tea in England. But here in America, what Andrew's been able to do is bring you the purest, finest, most organic product. And the taste is smooth, is how I describe it, Andrew. Flavorful, but smooth.
Well, all of the teas are designed to be non-bitter. I consider a discerning palate, and maybe I'd call it a sensitive palate. So strong flavors or tastes are offensive to me. I don't like chocolate that's bitter. I like chocolate that's dark and rich, but not bitter. The same with my tea. I like teas that are rich, robust, but not bitter. And so that's exactly how all our teas are made. And I think that's more typical of the American palate. When you go to, say, Europe, go to England or France, the chocolate tends to be darker and more bitter. I like chocolate that's rich in protective compounds, but not rich in bitterness. So that's, and speaking of chocolate, one of the most frequent questions asked, what happened to Choco Nouveau and when's it coming back? Right. So Choco Nouveau had to go away for summer. Choco Nouveau is dark chocolate, but it's so rich and creamy that it melts in summer. So unfortunately, we can't ship it between May and September. It goes away. In October, it comes back. So it will be back. It will be back next month. Right. Next month, we have CoQ10 as our Today Special. And our little Today Special #2 is going to be the return of Choco Nouveau. Also, just to letting you know, we're working on versions of Choco Nouveau. I just tested one. It's unbelievable, where we grind up a little bit of organic fair trade coffee beans into the Choco Nouveau. Oh, wow. And we're trying to do that also with healthy nuts like pecans, or walnuts, or almonds, things like that. That's fantastic. So it makes the Choco Nouveau a little more interesting, and it lowers cholesterol just as well, and it doesn't change the chocolate at all. When can we expect to see that? I'm hoping we'll see that by the beginning of next year. Okay. By either December or January, we should have our Choco, what we call it? What can we call it? Choco Nouveau coffee. Choco Nouveau coffee, right. And it'll be very low in caffeine because literally it's just gonna be about a ½ gram of coffee bean, just gently ground up. So it makes it almost like a crunch bar. You feel a little bit